Team Liquid just upset Na'Vi not once, but actually 2 times in 2 separate best of 3s, and one of those best of 3s actually qualified Liquid for the fall final for Blast Premier. And I want to have a look at this one map on the second time that they played, the match that actually qualified them for the final, and we're going to look at this from NAF's POV on Anubis and see how he managed to get 29 kills against one of the best teams in the world with this brand new Liquid roster, as well as kind of just seeing how the new Liquid roster is playing overall, because they are playing very well. And we'll look at that right after a quick word from our sponsor. What do you think? Today's video is sponsored by SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is a site where you could trade skins that you already have to get some skins that you might want. That way you can hop into your next game with some fresh new skins. All you have to do is log into the site through Steam, put in the skins that you don't want anymore, grab the skins that you do, and then click trade. Trades happen almost immediately, and any balance that you don't use in the trade will roll over for a trade that you might do in the future. Right now you can get a free $5 if you were to use code Austin on the site, and if you were to use my code you would get an additional 5% on top of the 30% deposit bonus. So let's say if you deposit $100, that means you would get $135 if you use my code to deposit. So make sure you guys check out SkinsMonkey, and let's get right back into the video. So it looks like Liquid might finally be back with their new roster. Of course, they have Yakinder, NAF, Twist is now the IGL, by the way. They picked up JKS and Ultimate. Now, they have been playing very well, and 2 of these best of 3s were against Na'Vi, who is a team that I think is very good to judge their skill against, and they've actually managed to pick up both of those best of 3s. Now, we got this second map of Anubis of the second best of 3, because they did play Anubis 2 times, and we have skipped the first 3 rounds because, quite frankly, there's not really too much to talk about, but NAF is going to be the B player for Liquid. Now he's also going to be defaulting on BT side as well as being their B anchor on CT side. Now there's not a lot to talk about on the CT side other than just positioning and ideas, so I'm going to be skipping around a little bit here and there just to kind of fill in the blanks. So what we have right now is one of the most suffocating things that the T side can do to the B site, and what that is the double lurk smoke. So as you can see here, we have the B main lurk smoke, and we also have the E box lurk smoke. Now both of these smokes, this one's actually faded a little bit, but the idea is still good. Both of these smokes basically let the T's pressure in towards E box. Yes, I'm calling it E box. I know you guys call it connector, blah blah blah. Why is it called E box? This is the E box. Anyway, so the T's are going to be able to take E-box control, as well as threaten the fact that they could walk through either side of the B main lurk smoke. And the reason that this is so strong is because you don't have enough players to look at everything. So you either have to gamble that they won't walk through when you have 2 people there, or you have to play 3B. And of course, playing 3B has been meta on CT Anubis for so long, which is why you've seen so many starts where, these smokes get thrown, and then they end up going in towards A main control, working mid, because they know that they have to put 3 in towards B. Now, Liquid's well aware of this, being that they play this map quite often, so against the double lurk smokes, they just say, you know what, it's fine, we're going to only play 2 here, and they were right to do so this round. Not really too much else other than that, because it's just going to be a failed A retake after that. It ends up in a 2-on-2. NAF comes from A main. He's actually going to kit this molly with the this kill with the molly onto Ima, and then of course it will be Yakinder to lose the clutch. He doesn't have enough time, and we're going to move on to the next round. Now this round is a little controversial. You might have seen it on Twitter today. I am actually uploading this the day of, like an hour after the match finished, so you might have seen this on Twitter today. This round is the round where twists crash while defusing. The round starts off pretty standard. We get the 3B start, like I said, and NAF's going to start in towards Pizza. The reason that you would do this is because what's happening is Yakinder and Ultimate are going for a E-box play. The smoke is going to make it basically impossible for that to happen. We're still going to watch this though from their perspective. So you see, they're going to run right through the smoke instead of respecting it, and they have a pretty decent setup here. As you can see, we're not just doing a NAF demo review, we're doing an entire Liquid review. As you can see, Ultimate is going to be posted up here onto the staircase, and then Yakinder is going to actually come into this cubby here. This is basically allowing him to play anti-flash, and he's somewhat tucked. I mean, it doesn't really look like he's hidden, but he is full hidden from anybody that peeks the stairs. If they were to peek from the left side, he's also full tucked. It's a cubby that he could play. So if Ultimate were to take a shot and then somebody tries to trade from here, Yakinder is going to catch them off guard, and it's just a nice little setup that you could play if you start 3B. And we already discussed starting 3B is extremely strong. Now, in return, the reason why NAF is going to be playing in towards this pizza position is because off the back of the information that these guys are getting in towards Canal, he can walk through this smoke if he wanted to. I mean, he doesn't need to, but he is going to walk through the smoke. He's going to eat a nade here and decides that it's better off for him to not die. Now, I don't dislike the play from NAF to go through this smoke, but they do have info that Canals is clear, and being that Canals is clear, where exactly are the T's most likely to be? Well, they're either going to be outside B main, or outside mid or outside canal. I mean, that's just where they have to be right now. So I don't know why we're like, you know, taking that risk. It might be beyond my understanding, but it's, you know, still something that he decides better against. He's going to get out after he takes that nade and then goes back, rotates, which, by the way, in case you're wondering how the setup went, and went exactly like you would expect it to. Both of these guys are going to work together here to get a kill, so I'll show it from this POV. As you can see, Ultimate going to get the first kill, Yakinder trades, and then Wonderful steps out and gets both of them. Very unlucky, but a good pickup for Wonderful. Off the back of that, NAF is going to have to rotate, and rotate he does, and then you know what happens after this. He dives, and then the controversial part of the round happens. And I say controversial because people really just like to hate on this game. Now, I've given my opinion on this so many times, I don't even need to say how I feel about this game. But whatever. This is very unfortunate. He's going to pick up both of the kills, and in case you're wondering, right here, he does actually have time. The music hasn't played, the beeps haven't started. He's got just enough time, and then he crashes. Supposedly. I don't know if he crashed. I don't know if he pressed his Windows key. He said he crashed. If you watch the clip that Blast posted, he's like, I crashed. But he tabs back in. I'm assuming he tabbed in, tabbed out, and he's definitely, something's wrong here, but he's still able to control his character. So I'm not really sure. It's not a full game crash. It could have just been a lag. I'm not sure. But of course, people on Twitter blaming the game. It could have been anything. We really have no idea what this is. We don't know. He could have just pressed the Windows key. That does look like a tab out. I'm going to be honest. That looks like a tab out. And when the game crashes, you normally don't get to come back and play as your character again. You just die. I've gone ahead and skipped round number 6 because nothing happens in it, and we've got another round here. We got a 3B start. Now, this is very reminiscent of what we just watched. Actually, I believe they're doing the exact same setup. Look at that. They're going for a setup in towards Canal yet again, but the difference is that this time NAF is not starting in towards Pizza. He's actually starting in towards E-Box, and the reason that is because you'll see this later on in, well, pretty much any Anubis game that you watch these days. This is like a modern setup, and the reason is because you can actually play and hold B main from inside E-Box, and if he needs to help and swing in towards Canal, he's also here. So let's say somebody peeks in towards stairs here, like maybe like Wonderful did last time, where, you know, they get those 2 kills and Wonderful gets the 2k in return. He whips his knife out, he's running up E-Box. That's when NAF would reveal himself and he would get the third trade back. And from Wonderful's perspective, it would have been like, oh my god, there's 3 people E-Box, and well, I mean, there is, so who's watching B main? Well, actually, NAF is watching B main, and the way that the map is actually designed is pretty clever because you can still throw utility in towards B main from E-Box, so you can smoke it, you can molly it, you can flash it, all from E-Box, and still be just as effective, but also while playing with your team. You'll see this happen a lot when they do 2B, but that's pretty much all there is to it. You know, he drops that utility, like I said, and then he switches into one of the more iconic angles that I guess he's known for. I've actually heard this angle called the NAF angle so many times, and of course it's exactly as you would think. He's just holding B main from a very aggressive angle. His head is half hidden behind that pillar, so just half hidden. He still can get headshot, but it's really strong to play as against pistols because it's an off angle. Normally you're expecting somebody in Palace entrance, not in the left side here. And when he's playing against Deagles, it's a pretty strong angle and he'll get a lot of free kills. Unfortunately, for the sake of this review, I don't think anybody's coming towards him, so he's just going to rotate in towards A. By the way, just one more small detail. A lot of you B rotators, instead of rotating through mid in towards camera where the action is, it's sometimes okay to jump in, rotate in towards this box room so you can actually hold the camera split from heaven. You'll see a lot of operas do this, you'll see a lot of riflers do this, but it's just because the other B player can rotate and make sure that they don't come through Palace to B, and then you're also able to rotate into a site. This is a site, of course this is mid, and you can hold the site instead of getting smoked off, and then they can go camera. Just a small little detail. I know it's a full eco, I yapped for a while, but you know what, it doesn't really matter. We're here to learn and we're here to appreciate the small details. In my notepad it says skip round 8. Don't remember what happens on this round, but I listened to the notepad. Past Austin knows best, and Past Austin said nothing happened this round that was worth talking about. Round number 9, we have, well, unfortunately, they go for a B main aggression here, and in this round, we get the lurk smoke down. Now, they've started 3B again. By the way, another round here where you see them going for an aggressive canal setup, like, you know, it's kind of crazy. I kind of have something I want to talk about later on because of all this aggression from Ultimate, Yakinder, and from Twist, but we'll get to that. Now, NAF is going to see, you know, again, they've spotted nothing in towards Canal here, and he's just going to patiently wait for his teammate to come back to him here because now that they've cleared Canal, he's going to actually throw a Molotov off the wall to clear the right side of B main. Very likely, by the way, that sometimes what will happen, it's actually Sometimes what will happen is the B main lurker will use the lurk smoke. Instead of walking through it to find a timing, he'll actually just cross to this side of B main. Normally, this is a very risky play, but if they don't expect you there, you can actually see people that are coming and rotating out of E-box. It can catch people off. If you've ever played E-box before and your teammate starts the round by smoking off B main, you might have noticed that sometimes what will happen is the enemy will cross to here and you'll get caught off because his teammate's holding B main, but he can't actually see this side. So they're very aware of all the small things, like they're aware of all the timings. So he's going to actually molly the right side because now they want to go for a B main aggression here. And the idea is, again, very push and pull. I've talked about this concept so many times on every map, but not really so much on Anubis, but we'll do it now. So they cleared all of Canal, right? They get the info that this is clear, and I think Na'Vi is pretty aware that they know that mid and Canal is clear. So based off of that, in the timing of the round here, it's time after, you know, they wait for the smokes to go away, they wait for the molly, all the pressure. They know that it's time for the CTs to back up, or, well, they're still going to just be in like bad positions, right? So there's a timing in the round where the CTs will leave and the Ts will take. And in anticipation for the Ts to retake the map control, the CTs don't just stand still. They don't just go, well, we held Canal, we held mid, well, I guess they just have it now. We're going to go back to site and sit there and wait for them. No. What they do is they know, hey, the majority of the forces are going to go back and take that map control, so let's go group up. And while they're taking that, let's fight somebody that's alone. Let's fight a lurker. You'll see this happen on a lot of maps. I think we've talked about this on Ancient before. And look at this. It's exactly what they're going to do. And they're pushing in towards B main here. But unfortunately for Liquid in this instance, they've been outplayed. Na'Vi knows. This is high-level mind games. Na'Vi knows that that's what they're planning on doing. If you look at the map, they were getting ready to take mid and Alexi calls for a group B. Now, why would you do that? Why would you do that? I mean, they're expecting you to go back and retake that map control. Like I just said, that's why they're doing this. They want to find the guy that's alone, get an advantage. Oh no, now we are losing the round. That's all. But no, Alexi's smarter than that, and he knows that that's probably coming. So they have a wonderful comeback and pose for this B main aggression. And exactly what happens. He spots out, well, he actually gets killed, but he spots that push, and they're going to go 2 for 1. They've completely outplayed Liquid here. Completely outplayed. This is big brain stuff, and I love it. It's looking so good, and you know, off the back of that read, they should just be winning the round, right? Like they're in such a good position, but unfortunately, they're actually not in a good position. Wait, what's going on here? They're getting destroyed. Wait, I thought they were winning the round, Dustin. I thought they outplayed them. Well, they did. They did outplay them, but it doesn't really matter because that's the beauty of Counter-Strike. You know, I do glaze a lot of pro teams, and I do like to, you know, break down the strategy and be like, oh, there's like, this is such a good play, that's why they won. But at the end of the day, if you don't shoot the other team, you don't win the round. You know what I'm saying? Like you still have to get the kills and convert the round. So this is just one of those times. That's the beauty of Counter-Strike, and that's really all I have to say about that. Let's move on to round number 10. Let's see. We've got the beginning here. We got the setup at the beginning of the round, which is exactly what I was talking about before. When I went on that yapping spree about NAF being in this position, and I said sometimes they play that with 2. This is them. This is them playing with 2. The same concept applies. This smoke, actually, that new smoke I'm telling you about, it does a pretty good job at making them feel really uncomfortable, so they're going to have to leave the setup. Now, they are on a full eco here, so it's not like the craziest thing in the world, but I just felt like bringing up that setup. If you're playing a pug and you don't really know, or maybe if you're playing even in Team CS, it's still good, but if you're playing a pug, that's a very easy setup to just call for you and your other B teammate. Hey, I'm gonna hold B main from an E-box. You do whatever you want, I'm here with you. And you just cycle smoke, cycle molly on B main, and you're good to go. And that's good. By the way, I just like to make a public service announcement while NAF gets this 2K. If you start the rounds by smoking off B main as a CT, you are trolling. 100%. You just are. I've played so many pugs, level 10 pugs. I watch EU streams, level 10 EU pugs, and they do it too. You're trolling. Almost no pro team starts that way, and if they do it once every, like, I don't even know, every like 10 Anubis games. The lurk smoke for the Ts, they literally throw a smoke that smokes B main off so that they can cross to right side and lurk through the smoke. You're just giving it to them. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not that scary. Just get confident at holding B main. You'll get a lot of kills if you do that. Round number 11 starts the exact same, and this time it's going to be Ultimate going in towards E-box to post while NAF plays in towards E-box along with him. But that smoke that Alexi threw that I talked about earlier is actually going to make NAF decide differently, as well as this lurk smoke, because now he can't play in E-box anyway because that spot is smoked. But when the lurk smoke comes out, he's actually going to just go ahead and play on the right side of that smoke. Now, Ultimate, very aggressive opper. He doesn't really care. He's going to walk through. He's got the info, which makes it a lot easier for NAF to just go ahead and play this spot. He's spamming. He's letting them know that he, is in that position. He's just being loud. And the reason he's doing that is because, well, I mean, it's just because I don't think that they're expecting Ultimate to be opping in towards E-Box, because that smoke is supposed to stop him. It's supposed to stop him, but it doesn't. And so after the smoke, well, after he gets a kill and he gets away, NAF's going to go into this position like we talked about before, and they've actually just completely swapped it. So Ultimate's aware of the lurk smoke now, and NAF is going to be holding E-Box. They know it's pretty much like no chance nobody's coming here. He's going to check it here in a second though, because there is a timing for bit, and boom, there it is. Now, you're not expecting that if you're bit, because the opper just peeked it and now he's gone. Surely nobody's going to swing here with no reason, but of course NAF will do that. And look at that. The round, nothing really even has happened here, except for that they're just confident. They're just confident. Like I said, playing B site is all about confidence. When I told you don't smoke B main at the beginning of the round, you have to just be confident. Like, it's the map is T-sided. You have to be confident with taking these fights. You'll catch them off guard. And that's exactly what's happened here. A beautiful round from Liquid. Everything went flawlessly. All right, switching over to T side now. In case you're wondering what's gone on here, I did skip the last round of the half. Round number 12 I skipped the pistol and the full eco, so that puts us on round number 15. And like I said at the beginning of the review, NAF is going to be our B lurker. Now this is the beginning of probably one of the better NAF performances that I've seen on this map here. And well, I guess we'll just get right into it. So on round number 15 here, we've just got a pretty solid round from him. He's just going to be floating around, letting his teammates do a lot of the work here, taking map control and whatnot. We've covered lurkers before, but lurkers have a very unique job. Now, lurkers will oftentimes get called baiters by the general community because, well, the general community doesn't really know any better. And the reason for this is because a lot of the times lurkers are not going to be the people making the plays. Sometimes they will. Sometimes they'll make a play at the beginning of the round. But most of the time they're waiting for their teammates to create a little bit of chaos, pull or rotate somewhere, make somebody like worried about something. You'll see this in later rounds where Yakinder is going to be running E-Box, and off the back of Yakinder walking E-Box, NAF can take a fight because they have to look E-Box and NAF's going to timing them. A lot of it just comes to understanding how the map is working. You see, a lurker sees the map as this. This is what the lurker sees in their head. I know because I'm a lurker, and this is how you see. You start to keep track. You're always looking at your radar. Where are my teammates? What do I know? Where are my teammates? What do I know? And they're solving the puzzle, just like the IGL, except the IGL has to do a lot more talking, so sometimes the puzzle gets a little confused. But the lurker sometimes might even understand the map better than the IGL, at least at certain times, because based on what I see as the lurker, and based on what I know my teammates are doing, and oh, hey, bit mollied A. Oh, hey, like let's say somebody peeked D-box. Okay, so now I'm starting to piece it together, right? We're starting to see the picture, and once they create a gap, like, oh, I killed JL, that means that Wonderful is going to rotate, or that means that the second B player is going to rotate, and off that timing, that means I might have a gap because I'm also a B player. Think about it from NAF's perspective. I'm saying but I'm referring to me being NAF. I'm also a B player. So if this happens, like if Twist would have died mid, then I would have rotated off and I would have left Yakinder E-Box, or maybe because we don't have anyone Canal, Yakinder already pushed through. They could be flanking. Maybe they're actually stacking B. There's a lot of possibilities, right? And so the job of the lurker is to get an opening or to convert the round, right? So to get an opening based off of map control that's happening, or to make sure the round is just won. And so a lot of times you'll see lurkers very patiently waiting. They're just sitting back here, not really doing anything. And if their teammates were to die, just to wrap it all in a nice little bow, the reason why the casual community would call them baiters is because if the team fails at taking map control, well, then you're going to have LMS, right? Like, this guy is the last man standing is what that stands for, LMS. And they're just going to be like, he's last alive every round. He's a baiter. Why won't he do something? Go in first. Dude, no, that's not his role. That's not his role. NAF's role is quite literally to take advantage of the chaos that Yakinder, Ultimate, and Twist are making. That's literally his job. I couldn't think of a better person to play this role. That's why it's fun to watch him. Excuse that rant. Let's keep going. Not a lot actually happens here because he's just going to get a trade. JL dirty double with the MP9 here. Will pick up the bomb, recover it, and groups up with the rest of his teammates. So they're going to come out A. JKS gets another opening. We get that molly in towards back default. And of course, NAF is just going to cross. He wants to get this bomb down more than anything. It's low time, and he will do that. Bomb goes down here, but he actually dies to the nade right after he plants. But it doesn't matter because he's done his job. He has gotten the trade kill in mid, brought the bomb over, and got the bomb down, even though he only got one kill, arguably the most important kill of the round by not losing the bomb. And that's going to be a converted round for Liquid. That's kind of what I'm saying. I know this was kind of a bit of a yap round, and people who already understood that are probably going to be rolling their eyes, but that's why I like watching Lurkers. I think Lurkers are probably some of the smartest players in the game. That's why Bit is fun to watch. That's why Rops is fun to watch, and that is also why NAF is fun to watch in this team. So we get a timeout here. Round number 16. He's actually going to throw that fast molly in this one. Oh, okay. I have to show you. If you guys watch my stream, you guys might have seen I did an hour-long stream segment of me trying to hit this molly. I don't know how he did it first try, but he is a pro. He gets paid to hit this molly. It's a fast one. It lands in towards E-Box. It stops the second or a late spawn from peeking into E-Box. Unfortunately, the molly doesn't actually do a very good job this time because Bit is already through it. And then that smoke in towards the B main will deny him from coming up here and taking a fight. And so there you have it. Well, Austin, I thought you said that they don't smoke B main off the... Wait. They didn't smoke off the rip. Wonderful smoked as a reaction. Let's just replay that one more time. Wonderful actually smokes as a reaction to Bit getting the kill here. So let's play it in full speed. We get the molly. Now Bit got the kill. That's when Wonderful smokes. And the reason is because Bit is literally all the way up here. They're doing a canal crunch. There's not really a lot that can go wrong now for Na'Vi. Like, they pretty much already won the round. Like, assuming that Ema doesn't get destroyed and open up the A site, then they're pretty much good. But that logic also applies to the B player, right? Like, Wonderful also can't die to NAF here. This is the time when the Lurker is going to be active. The Lurker is going to be looking for this kill, because if he kills the B player, then this guy is in trouble. He can get a timing and get all the way to, like, CT, right? That's why he's smoking. That's the difference. That's the difference in why he's smoking now and not at the beginning of the round. And here we have it. NAF looking over the smoke, which, by the way, even by smoking, you still get these like insane angles to see over the smoke and whatnot. By the way, exactly what I said would happen did happen. JL and Ema both allowed them to get the kills back. And yeah, there it is. That smoke is just not as good as you think it is. It looks like it's almost a one-way. It's not, but he's just not expecting NAF to be able to see over that smoke. And there you have it. There you have it. That's the Lurker securing the round. Like I said, it's going to be a 4-on-2 now. Left side smoke comes in, and the rest is just pretty much routine, and the bomb will go down and whatnot. And there you go. That's just another good round from NAF. He didn't really even do that much, but he applied that pressure. He showed himself to be here, got that smoke out, then he got the rotate to come in. He's looking over the smoke. That's the most important kill he could have gotten. And, well, there you go. Let's move on to the next round. Now, round number 17 is a full eco, but NAF is going to be playing very aggressive. And by the way, that entire yap thing I went on about how Lurkers played, that applies for the rest of the game, so you only have to hear that once from me. And on this full eco, what we're going to see is that NAF is going to Molotov B main here, and then he's going to drop a nade on the pillar. Now, the reason he's doing this is because it's very common on full ecos to get people grouped up here and then flash them through to fight the B main Lurker. Very, very common, like I said, but NAF is denying that. He says, if you're there, first of all, you're eating a nade, and also I'm coming up to fight you because I don't care. This is somewhat like bullying pistols. You know, you might think, oh, he's just an eco farmer going to fight USPs because he can't keep up with the rifles. No, not really. I mean, what this is actually conditioning, believe it or not. I know it doesn't really look like it, but hear me out. It's going to make sense. It doesn't really matter if he fights against a gun or against a USP round for the other team because they're still adding this to their counter. I do this as a player myself, so I can probably assume this is how they think. They're going to think, okay, you know, next gun round, does NAF come up and fight us aggressive? Yes, he does. He did it against an eco, but he still did it. So he might not ever come against pistols. But because he does still come here in this game, they're going to have to be ready for that for the rest of the game. So it's actually safer in the long run for him to come and farm pistols than it is for him to come and do this on a gun round and instantly die, right? So that's why he's going to do this. And you'll see this happen a lot with Lurkers, which is why people accuse BlameF of being an eco farmer. Now, granted, that is very, very, very different because he probably was. But the same logic did apply where it's like he's going after ecos because he normally plays super passive and he's super baity. But it just reminds them that, by the way, I can still do this. Even if I'm doing it against pistols, you still will remember that I did that. So that's what we see. Here we go, and he's spamming the smoke, making himself very known. Of course, his team is supporting him. Yakinder comes up, the util comes in, and then NAF's going to get a nice little 3k spray down after the smoke dissipates right around. Here it comes, boom, there it is, and that's round number 17. Just thought I would also bring up the point of him coming up and being aggressive against pistols. I think it's a decent point to make, and I don't think a lot of people think about that. Round number 18 here, we have NAF supporting with the mid utility here for his team. They do fast mid, and he's actually, important to note, not in towards B main here. But like I said, because of the previous rounds, because of him fighting last round, and because of him being there, you know, twice now, they're still ready for that possibility, so he can actually not be there. It feels like, you know, the pressure that he applied from the rounds before, like I said, is still carrying over. So he's allowed to cheat. This is what you would hear the casters refer to as cheating, because he's leaving his spot. He doesn't need to be there. Now, it is fully possible that somebody walked through B main, but he knows, based off the pressure that he's been applying, that's probably not going to happen. So they're not worried about it at all. And there you go. He's going to find a kill onto JL through the smoke. Granted, a little overzealous for JL after he got that first kill to go for the spam, but fair enough. And NAF gets the trade, brings the bomb over, and they're going to go for an A contact here. Now the aggression will come in, the double a re-aggression from the Na'Vi side comes in. They spot NAF, and by the way, look at what happens the second that they spot NAF on the radar here. As soon as they see him in the kill feed, watch both of the B players, watch. They immediately both go. They don't even think twice, because they know that that's the B lurker. First, I mean, obviously it is a B hit, or an A hit, I'm sorry, because they did see everybody, but that's still, because NAF was in the kill feed, they're like, we gotta go now. He's not here. We've been played, boys. We've been played. And that's going to be the round. They are actually going to lose this, Team Liquid, and you know, it's going to be an interesting situation, but still a pretty good round from NAF, all things considered, which is going to bring us on to round number 19. Okay, round number 19 was a mess. I skipped it. I feel like the Liquid boys weren't on the same page for that one. And here we have it. We got the Lurk Smoke thrown on round number 20. Now, this is a B pop. Now, this is actually the first time that NAF has thrown the Lurk Smoke in this game, so it actually could be a little bit of a tell on accident. He doesn't mean for it to be, but since he hasn't been throwing it, since it's the first time they are throwing it, it actually probably puts the Na'Vi guys on high alert. Because, well, NAF hasn't thrown this all game, and now he did. They must have a plan, and they know that the money is kind of weird for Liquid, so I'm not gonna lie, it does scream B-pop, at least to me, as a B player. If this was the first time I saw this, I would be on high alert, and that's exactly why you see Alexi nade the smoke here and spot out the hit. But unfortunately, he doesn't pull his gun out in time, and the door gets opened, and the site gets lost pretty quickly there after that. And I just wanted to point out that this is a round where they literally only bought util. I mean, NAF's coming in here with a Glock. He's literally coming in with a Glock. And somehow they're going to get the bomb down. Twist gets a 3K, and now they're just winning the round. They've stolen this round, completely stolen it from Liquid. And what went wrong, what even went wrong, what exactly went wrong was when Alexi naded the smoke and then didn't actually expect to see anything there, so he didn't have a gun in his hand, and off the back of the smoke getting naded, they were like, the jig is up, boys, and they exploded on him right away. But Alexi wasn't holding, and then the guy in the back sight, he just gets completely destroyed, and it all goes wrong from there. So yeah, honestly, you know, not a lot to say. We can look at the utility, by the way, thrown from NAF. This is going to be like the CT smoke here. So he throws it from the same place as the lurk smoke, and then flashes are kind of just whatever. As you can see here, the CT smoke, like I said, and there it is. There it is. Twist gets in, gets the op in the back of the site, and that's just how it goes. A little bit of a mistake there for Na'Vi, but mistakes happen at every level in CS, and this is one of those times where you get one. You get a mistake, and it's going to have a big repercussion. Moving on to round number 21, we have a really good round. It's probably one of the most textbook rounds that you can see from a lurk on Anubis. Sorry, a B site lurk on Anubis. Starts with that Molotov in towards E-box quick, as well as a nade in towards the entrance of B main in case they go for a B main aggression. Now, he does hear a flash thrown from the CTs in towards B main. Now, he's also going to shift back in towards holding mid here, because ultimate's posted. They're working in this canal area a little bit, and he's not really that worried, but he did hear the flash thrown, so at some point he is going to have to make sure that nobody's pushed through B main, and he's going to do that right now. Going to come up and clear everything, make sure nobody's on the left side. There isn't anybody there. Then the smoke comes in, and you know, he makes sure nobody jumps up on the back side, you know, just keeping tabs on everything. And then he's actually going to spam the smoke a little bit here, and I don't know, it's not a bad thing to do sometimes, you know, it's all right. Maybe he thought he's, you know, had to read, goes for the spam, just kind of like reminding them, hey guys, I'm over here still, don't forget about me. And then they're going to group up in towards mid. and NAF is going to join them. Now, because he's already showed himself in towards B main, you actually are going to see the repercussions of this. The B stack is coming in here. And why is that? Well, it's because it's 45 seconds in the round, and this is a big time. This is like a really big time that a lot of teams are executing. And because of that, I don't know what I have to say, big time, like a meta time. It's like a number that you just think about a lot. Whenever it's like 45 seconds on the clock, you know that a hit is about to come in. And the reason they're stacking B is because NAF just shot, right? So they know that there's somebody B. And most importantly, JL still has A main. Now, normally in order to come in towards A, you're going to need to have A main, right? And to take A main with such little time, and by the way, with JL still having a molly, which is why he's jiggling with the molly, it's not likely. And even if they do come A, they're in trouble because he's going to molly A main, right? The problem is that there's a little bit of an oversight, and I wouldn't call it an oversight as much as I would call it a gamble, since they do have 2 pistols. They gamble towards B, and that's the information they have, but they've completely left the door open in mid, and they're going to walk in on that. And because NAF didn't throw the lurk smoke this round, he has a smoke for the split. Now, this is when Navi realized that they've made a mistake. Jail is on an island here, and he's in trouble. He goes down. It's actually just better for the Navi guys to save, and that's exactly what they're going to do. And of course, NAF still lurking in towards mid here. Here's them running, spots one of those rifles, and will take it down. This is just all around a perfect textbook round for lurking. He doesn't do anything too crazy. He's just making sure that he's where he needs to be, putting a little bit of pressure. Hey, don't forget that I'm here, you know, getting the kill at the end of the round. And then he also, I think he gets one more here as well. Boom, another one onto Ima, just denying the save. But just beautiful. Just a beautiful round. Round number 22 is going to be a full eco with a saved gun and a deagle, of course. And we're going to get to see another example of NAF bullying pistols. And this time they are going to go for that B pop like I told you about before. Now remember what he did last time. It's all conditioning. Really it is. Last time he mollied B main and then he naded off the pillar. This time he threw the lurk smoke to bait them to walk through. Can you believe that? Because the last time on the full eco he came up and played aggressive, this time he throws the lurk smoke. And the thing about the lurk smoke that's really interesting is that because of the way it lands, you're actually encouraged to walk through, and because of that, that nade is very strong because it's going to catch people walking through and it do a little bit of damage to them. And you know, off the back of that, he's going to clear it. He's very confident. You know, again, like I said, he's just kind of bullying pistols, and he comes up here, gets a nice kill onto Wonderful using that lurk smoke that he did throw himself. And you know, he's just bullying pistols. He really is. That's all it is. And that's the round. All right, round number 23 is very, very strong. We're going to start with that fast E-box molly as well as a B main HE. Now in the notebook, I wrote down that this might be one of the best rounds I've seen from Liquid in a very long time. And the idea is, so far this game, they've pretty much done what they've wanted to. I mean, Liquid has played very aggressive on CT side. You know, they're pushing canal, doing canal crunches, and now on T side, they've been fighting a lot in towards mid, in towards A main, as well as NAF bullying the pistols. So this is a round where Twist says, you know what, guys? Most important round of the game, 11-11. Let's let them make the play. You know what? Let's let them outplay themselves, right? So what do we have? We have the rest of the boys, apart from NAF, are going to be all holding something, some sort of push, right? We're going to let them. You see, look, nobody's holding canal. We're letting them do that. If they want to do that setup that we were doing, they can. Let them do whatever they want. Because we're going to let them outplay themselves. They're going to get bad information. They're going to clear mid. And when they go to clear mid, they're not going to see anyone. They're going to, nobody there. They're going to have NAF waiting for this B main aggression. If it comes in, he's going to probably get one. They're going to be able to clear A main. Nobody's A main. We're hiding from them. And why are they doing this? Well, the reason is because they know that the buy is not the best it could be. There's a few compromises made. I mean, look, we're missing a little bit of utility. It could have already been thrown, by the way. We're missing a little bit of utility. It's been updated now since I touched it. And we also have an MP9 out. You know, they don't have too much. We let them throw their early initial utility. We're just going to let them play. And that's what they do. That's what they do. So I'm going to fast forward until things start to happen. 40 seconds. Remember, 45 seconds is that time, like I told you before, where everything starts to have to happen. And they're going to walk mid. Now, this is exactly what I said. Remember what I said. Outplay themselves. They had 3 a day. Navi had 3 a day just a few seconds ago, and they've actually rotated somebody off because they don't have any B main info. Like right now, they're playing full committed on A, and they're also playing retake / anchored on B. So who's holding mid? I mean, who's stopping Liquid from walking mid and splitting A? Who's stopping Liquid from walking mid and splitting B? Nobody. Well, why? I mean, we've outplayed ourselves. We were expecting something fast-paced. We've stacked the A site. We're playing retake B. Okay, well, now things are kind of weird. Bit's also kind of shifting off of his position. Wonderful's rotating CT. And in the meantime, you've just completely left a mid gap. Now, it's not that they're not aware of this. I mean, JL is spotting, but the problem isn't that they're not aware. The problem is that they're not in the best possible setup to deal with this. They didn't have info. They have no info. They literally have nothing. Could you imagine playing against a team like this? This is your perspective. You're playing the round and you hear no sound cues, no utility thrown. I mean, you know, some at the beginning of the round, but mostly no utility, no footsteps, nothing. And you're like, well, can they be mid? Yeah. Can they be outside B? Yeah. Can they be outside A? Yeah. So where do I go? Could they be close mid? Yeah. They don't know anything. And because they didn't get that info, they're just in a really bad spot. Now, the hardest part is for Liquid to be able to pull this off is what they need is to hit the shots. They've got themselves in the best position. Utility saved from NAF. He's going to come in here. He's trading this time. JL finds the first. Ultimate gets the trade. It's over. The site is lost. That smoke is beautiful, by the way. Look at that smoke as well. I love a round like this because it's 30 seconds on the clock, and the smoke that is thrown lands in to stop this heaven slash box room fight. It's so meta. Do you remember what I told you before when I said earlier in the demo review that, hey, by the way, rotating in through here is a lot stronger because you can actually help the A split from here? Well, not with this smoke you can't, and that's exactly what's happened. It's a full A split. They are completely shut out of the round. I mean, they let Na'Vi outplay themselves. I mean, sure, Wonderful was in a good position, but remember what I said. Remember what I said before again. The reason this spot isn't the best spot to be in is because you just get smoked and you can't come through because they molly on the right side. And that's exactly what happened. Let's rewind it yet again. One more time. Wonderful's here. Guess what happens? He spots somebody and then he gets smoked off. He gets mollied. He can't come. So now he has to come into the position that he already was in. But when he gets here, he's smoked. If he would have just stayed here originally, then he could have helped JL fight. But he didn't because they didn't have any info. That's what I'm trying to say to you. Na'Vi outplayed themselves and Liquid took advantage of that. And they let it, they made them do it. They made them do it. Yeah, you're used to us playing pretty quick, pretty aggressive. We got Yakinder on this team. That guy never stops holding W. But this round, we took his W key privileges away, and now you don't know what to do. What is happening? Beautiful round from Liquid, and they're going to convert it. And it's all off the back of just really good conditioning from the boys. Everybody's done their job here, and NAF's going to go ahead and peek in towards Ima here. I do believe that he goes down. I know that I got a little loud there, but I really do love talking about CS. It's one of my favorite things to do is break down Team CS. And speaking of which, we just had the best round I've ever seen from Liquid. To be honest, I love tactically what they did there. And for round number 24, believe it or not, in the summary here of round 24, I just put question mark, because off the best round, we also have the worst round right after. That's typically how it goes, isn't it? So we see, exactly the same setup. This time NAF is somewhat aggressive. He's kind of just picked a different spot as opposed to this one. And, nothing really happens for the boys on Na'Vi. They left the mid gap. This time it's out of confidence instead of out of getting outplayed. And eventually JKS is going to walk into Wonderful. Now, I don't think that that's a big deal, but off the back of spotting the opper towards A, they're pretty confident that that means that there's two people A, and that means that they need to go right now. But they don't. They don't actually do anything off the back of spotting the opper. I mean, Twist is already mid. He could have been walking. He's not walking. And sure, NAF comes up and he wants to take a fight a little bit more aggressively because he knows that there's probably not an op holding him. But he doesn't get the kill. And then Twist is going to get spotted from Bit. And then the round is already over. Well, I mean, what happened though? I mean, so Wonderful gets the op kill, and then there's nobody else near him except for Yakinder. But of course, Yakinder, after he gets opt before he gets opt, he's already left. So there's nobody actually here to deny the Canal crunch afterwards. So that's exactly what happens is, Wonderful gets the kill, Bit clears Canal, and because nobody reacted to take space off of spotting the opper, well, Bit's going to take advantage of the fact that everybody's kind of just floaty. Nobody's watching Canal, gets the kill, and Wonderful has enough time to still rotate back to cover mid, and it's just over. They didn't react fast enough, and it's just over. So the util ends up coming in. They still make it somewhat, decent, all things considered. The exit comes in. Like I said, NAF finds one, but it's, Not much to say about that. Not much to say about that at all, except that we're going to overtime. And overtime is a mess. I actually have to skip the 25th round because it's just a mess for Liquid. And we go on to round number 26. Now, round number 26, Same thing as per usual. Now it's going to start by throwing the E-box smoke, and then he's going to nade as well. Now the difference is that this round we are going to finally see NAF activate. So we speed up a little bit here and we get close to the round. He's got his teammate Twist with him. Now Twist is going to come with NAF, because the idea is that we want to have Yakinder pressure E-box. Now we actually haven't seen that much E-box pressure happen so far for Liquid, so this will be good, right? I mean, the setup for Na'Vi is actually, it's pretty straightforward. You know, Wonderful's opping aggressive B main. Remember, NAF has only really come up here against pistols, and they know that to an extent, that he hasn't really come up here and fought too much. And normally when he does, he throws the lurk smoke. So Wonderful holding this line, typically, for every other round this game would have been perfect. And they're actually able to play 2 mid off of this because, like I said, again, they're not normally getting pressured E-box. NAF's not been the most aggressive player in the world, but this time they change up, and Yakinder's going to put pressure in towards E-box. So off the back of this, we see here, Yakinder gets the kill. That's when NAF and Twist are going to double swing into Wonderful here, and they've got the opening. Just, you know, kind of working back and forth. Yakinder puts that pressure E-box, like I told you before, earlier in the review, that we would talk about this. Off the back of that E-box pressure, that's when NAF is going to find his timing. Round number 27, and it's funny, round number 27 used to be very common back in CSGO when we played MR15, but now it feels like these games take forever when they go to overtime, don't they? It's just kind of interesting that we used to play this long every day. Anyway, so this round is a little bit different tactically. We've completely left B main. You know, we have the same starting util from NAF. He mollies this fast E-box. It throws the HE into the entrance of B main. And then this time, instead of having a mid defaulter, they're actually just going to let NAF do that. So NAF is going to be responsible for holding the mid push and for holding the B push at the same time. I drew the lines backwards, but it doesn't really matter. And the reason is because they want to take in towards A main. So they're going to pressure in towards A main. And eventually, if everything goes well, they can do an A split, or maybe Twist will catch somebody in E-box. A lot of options that could happen here. NAF could catch a B main aggression. A lot of options that could happen. But what's actually going to happen is the A setup is going to get 2 kills, and they're going to kill Wonderful. Now, funnily enough, because of that, Bit got 2, Wonderful died, which means they still know Bit's there because he got 2. And they know the setup again. Opera was in towards A, and, well, let's think about it. The amount of pressure that was just thrown from Team Liquid would kind of indicate that there could only be one person in towards B. We talked about this when we were watching NAF's perspective, that is kind of how it works. They got destroyed one time because Alexi B outcalled them, but this time that is the case. And it's just going to be NAF. Now NAF knows that this is possible, so he's going to be jiggling for this push. Actually spots Alexi, almost goes down to Ema, but doesn't. Now the round is kind of, you know, up in the air. It's a 3 versus 3. There's gaps everywhere. But one thing is known, and that is that Wonderful is not in the map. The op is still in play, but you know, it's a second op. It's on JL. It's not Wonderful though. And because of that, we don't know the second op exists right now. But because we know that there's not one op, and they're thinking that this is not any op, we're going to pressure mid. We're not afraid. If NAF dies here, it's unfortunate, but he's the low player in the round. It could happen. He's going to activate now. This is when you see lurkers start to take over the round. He's putting pressure in towards mid, and because he's putting pressure mid, it's going to force JL into peeking E-box to get info. But that's where Twist is waiting for him. NAF is forcing this free aggression. I mean, think about it. They just spotted NAF outside B not that long ago. Now Ema's pushing up behind him. Now NAF doesn't know that they're pushing B main, but JL does, right? And because of the mid pressure that's coming in, they're probably thinking that since Bit is low, right? I mean, Bit already got shot once. They're probably thinking this is just an A split. They were thinking NAF is putting mid pressure and the other 2 guys are coming in A main. That's 100% what they think is happening because that's what it looks like. But actually, NAF is the one that goes mid just like before. But the difference is that Twist and Yakinder are waiting for this E-box swing. Now they're not expecting JL. They're probably expecting Ema. But let's just go one further. Let's go one further, right? JL has an op. That is not what NAF would have saw when he saw the double B main push. It isn't what he saw. He saw 2 riflers swing him, not an opper. So because of that, they still know that there's one person B and that it's extremely likely that that person didn't be main. I'm not joking. I know it seems like it's crazy, but that's exactly what they're thinking. And if we look at Twist's perspective, look at... Oh, wait, hold on. Which button is Twist? Look, he's holding for B main. They're very aware of this. Now, the mollies are silly in this game, so he can't see him, but it doesn't matter because NAF's already here through mid. And even though he doesn't actually get the kill, it doesn't matter because Yakinder and NAF tag team onto Ema, and it's already over. Bit, they know he was A. He's already made noise. It's over. It's over. Just absolutely dominated NAF. Why? He makes everything work there. He is the reason the round is so successful. Now, of course, this is a team game, but without him spotting the B main aggression and then also forcing the reaction from the mid players. Sure, Twist got the kill. Sure, they got the kill in A main on the Wonderful. That doesn't really matter, though, because the rest of it, the heavy lifting, is by forcing the rotates where we're expecting them. That's what's happened here. We're going to be back on CT side now. If you remember all the way like 35 minutes ago when we were talking about CT side the first time, NAF didn't actually have the best of runs. In fact, he only had 6 kills. And now if we look, he's at 20-6. He has dominated on T side. But we're moving back into CT side where he was looking weak. And to start off this round, we see one of the coolest things I've ever seen, and I know you guys are waiting to see it, so let me show you. We got a nice little setup with NAF and Ultimate. They're going to be playing next to each other in Pizza. Now, the idea here is, of course, there it is of course, we want to bait somebody into peeking, and whenever that lurk smoke comes in, we can boost right on over it. So now if anybody wants to try to use the lurk smoke, they're going to be in for quite the surprise because there's going to be somebody floating in the sky to take them down. Now, we actually are going to get to see this here in a second. Someone is going to come up and fight him, and it's going to be Mr. Wonderful himself creeping around the corner. Oh my goodness. Ultimate legs him instead. NAF's going to get away, and unfortunately there's not much else to talk about this round. I just wanted to showcase the boost, but it was still really good. If Ultimate wouldn't have legged Wonderful, that was a completely different round, but unfortunately that is not what happens, and we are going to go another tie game, 14-14. On round number 29, we get a very unique start because I'm just kidding, it's not unique at all. Look, they're doing the exact same setup for what, the 4th time this game. NAF plays the NAF angle. A lot of recurring things happening at the B site here. Lurk smoke comes in, but the difference is that this time the setup doesn't go 2 for 2, it goes 2 for 1, but Twist does get a kill in mid, so it is still a 3-on-3, but the kills actually went a little bit differently. Now Twist is going to double down in mid, and well, hold on now, wait, he just left the B site. Exactly. You can do this. You can do this at the highest of levels. Now, you can never do this in a pug because your teammates would yell at you, but at the highest level in the game, it's okay to sometimes leave your spot. Like I told you on T-side, you can leave. We've done so many demo reviews on this channel. I've showed you this is something that you can do. And that's exactly what happens here. Off the back of this setup that they've ran 4 times, what has happened every time? NAF has been there. But because this time they both die, you're thinking, well, NAF, surely he can't leave. Well, why not? Why not? I mean, you're supposed to play every round like it's 0-0. They know everything about what you've done before, and so do you. You know what they know, and they know that NAF has always been 3B. So why would this round be any different? It shouldn't be, should it? But it is. But it is different. It is different because he's completely just left the site open. He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to be there because he can group up with JKS. Now look at how he's doing this. He is full baiting JKS. He doesn't want to get spotted. He knows that he is not supposed to be here in quotes, by the way, because they're not expecting him here. He's letting JKS go so far ahead of him because if JKS dies, he wants to be a little staggered so that way they get the kill. They have just enough time to go, okay, nobody else here. Maybe they even pull their knives out so they can take advantage of the space that's created, and then that's when NAF is going to peek them. He is purposefully baiting them because they don't know that he left the B site. They don't know that. JKS gets the first kill. And look, NAF still not making any noise. He doesn't care because if JKS dies, who cares? It doesn't matter. They're not expecting me here. They are 100% not expecting me here. And that's just one of the craziest things that you're going to see. Look, and because of that, JKS ran. Do you see what just happened there, by the way? JKS ran because JL knows that he was in A. He knows that he was through A push. He knows he pushed canal. So he's not actually expecting NAF to be here. And that's exactly why he's going to peek mid. Almost goes down. He doesn't, but that's exactly why that ends up happening. Crazy that he had a lineup for that, by the way. And there you go. That's pretty much going to be the round. JL is going to be forced to drop into NAF's crosshair. He doesn't have any time, but everything is perfect. He just completely left the B site. Giga Chad. He doesn't care. What score? 14-14. If we lose this map, we lose. Psh. Who cares? I'm going to leave the B site, guys. I think that this is the right play right now. I'll see you guys later. What? And with all that being said, that's going to leave us on to round number 30, the final round of the game. And this round is a little special as well, because this time NAF is going to pick up the second op. Now, the difference between this round and any other round where he would have the second op is that, he's actually solo B. Can you believe that? Another really important round where they make a risky call. NAF is going to get the op and solo B. Now, off the back of this, he's going to flash B main as if they're going for some aggression. That is not something that has happened so far, at least not with a flash for the boys. He's going to also molly in front of the lurk smoke. He's doing his best to make it look like there's more than one person here. Nades to lurk smoke, looking for any opening. Also, not afraid to scope. The reason that he's doing this, by the way, is because if somebody lurking B does hear that scope, which, by the way, does hear this, guess what he's going to call? Op B, Op B. Now, of course, they know it's possible for there to be two oppers, but that doesn't mean that they're expecting it, right? It doesn't mean that they are expecting a second op. They could be, but more than likely, they're not. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. You're going to see the mid pressures coming in. And by the way, I didn't even mention this, but because he's playing solo B, they're allowed to play 2 mid and 2 A, 2 bait setups, which is really, really strong. If they come B, I mean, unlucky. Maybe we win the retake if NAF get the kill with the op. But otherwise, they fall into a trap here, a trap here. Could be really, really strong. And it is. Twist is going to find the first kill. Now, they do know that there's 2 people in towards mid, but they're not expecting the op. And now this is when they realize, okay, hold on. They have 2 ops. They know now, right? So they're like, okay, well, there's an op on B, there's an op mid. We're also in a 5v3. Wait, we lost on the low. But NAF is going to be playing super far back. And the reason is because he's a B lurker on T side. What did I tell you? When I went through my initial lurk rant, I said, when there's chaos created, that's when the lurk activates. NAF knows that. So when the chaos starts, he backs up any ops from here. Why? Well, you know why now. I mean, I've explained it to death a little bit, but it's because he knows that's when the B-Lurk is going to activate and he can catch him. Doesn't end up happening, but that's why he does it. He's going to back up now, and this time they have no choice. The Navi guys, they have no choice. They're coming B, and NAF's going to find 1 on the op. It's over. 5v2, it's over. I mean, NAF is just post. He doesn't need to do anything. He just waits. He knows they have to cross him. They will, but it doesn't matter. And NAF's going to close out the game with the final op shot on the Ima. Team Liquid's back, baby. I don't really know what else there is to say. Team Liquid is back. If you enjoyed the demo review, make sure you guys sub to the channel, leave a like, comment your favorite part of the demo review as well. I'll be checking every comment. Thank you guys for the support as always. And yeah, that's going to be it. Bye-bye.